Good day, everybody.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to episode 23 of the Good Day podcast, where Maxi and I talk about our adventures down under.
This is probably going to be a short one. You guys might need it.
Yes, we've dropped some really long episodes the last couple ones, but you know, when you're at the house sitting, you're just taking care of the animals. It's just like every day. We haven't been traveling, we haven't been interacting much with people, but we do have some funny encounters.
Yep. We wouldn't be able to get away with existing without some bizarre experiences.
Yeah, this week has just held like a lot of relaxing. Like after the long journey, it just feels so good to be back in a house and just able to put the feet up at night and just throw on some TV.
Yeah, it's been like 8 constant weeks of travel. I mean, 16 nights in the middle in Bali, and that was nice. We had Airbnbs where we could
Still
enjoy
chaotic, though.
yeah, we were able to enjoy ourselves, but like we were constantly on the go as well, getting to see everything. But
Yeah.
here we are getting to lay out on the couch, the recliner.
Yeah, make some good home cooked meals. It's been so
We have
good
an
to have
oven.
a dishwasher. Oh my gosh, it's the best.
Yeah, and when we're living out of our car, like we have to set up our chairs and we set up our table, and like sometimes you don't want to set up all those things and put it away in the morning. It's just like a lot, and
You know,
again,
you take advantage of like the things that are amazing in life, having a pre-set up table.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just nice to just really relax. I feel like the constant travel hit me like a ton of bricks when we got here. And it was really hard I thought that I was going to be able to relax a couple hours after getting here, like in the morning when the family left. But if you listen to the last episode, they stayed for much
So
longer
long.
than anyone ever has stayed when
Yeah.
we're taking over their dogs and cats. So I couldn't relax yet. And then once they finally left, I felt like I was hit by a ton of bricks. I was just so tired, catching up on sleep. And yeah, we did a lot of sleeping for the first week. Well, I did.
Well, not
Well,
really,
not
because
really.
the dogs would wake us up. They'd bark at like 5:45, and we'd be like, "All right, time to start walking these dogs."
Yeah, we'd get up early and then go to bed early.
Yeah, and this place is just it's about 20 minutes away from one of the best mountain biking parks in Queensland. So I've been really taking advantage of that, trying to go almost every day. I need to take a couple rest days because I was so tired after probably the first week of going every day. But it's been amazing. The trails are beautiful, just really nice, and they've been working on them every day to make them better because there's a couple races coming up in the next couple of weeks that we sadly won't be around for. But yeah, it's been really fun. Been doing a lot of cooking.
Yeah, because a lot of these caravan sites don't have ovens. Sometimes they do, but usually you can't count on it, so you can't buy baked potatoes. You can't buy potatoes with the intention of baking them. Or if you're free camping, obviously you don't have that.
Yeah, and then dishes is another thing. Like,
oh, it's so nice to be here.
yeah, it is really nice. And our morning routines have been wake up immediately. The dogs are freaking out. They want to go for their walk. And so we take them. It's like a 2 mile and a half walk. And it's been nice getting up in the mornings. I mean, it's
been really nice.
Yeah, the thing I like the most about these dogs is you get up early, you walk them. That's the only walk they go on all day. You feed them, and then the only thing you also have to do for the day is feed them at night. So it's nice to kind of get all your chores done with immediately when you wake up. So that's been really nice. And
Definitely. I
yeah,
agree.
and another routine that we've been doing almost every time that I go biking, we go to the grocery store just to like pop in there, maybe get a little treat, maybe get some dinner for the night. Like
Mostly just ingredients for dinner.
yeah, it's just like I love going to the grocery store. It's fun, and like one day we were at the store and like I don't know when this was, probably a week ago or less than a week ago.
It was like Friday because remember it was so busy.
Oh yeah, it was ridiculously busy, and we asked the lady, "What's going on? Is it like what is it always this busy?"
The cashier.
The cashier, yeah, and she was like, "No, big holiday. It's the Cans like show day, farm fest, something like that, where they show off all like their tractors and all the farmers come together and have a day off, I guess." And so we couldn't talk to her a little bit, and then she's like, also all the networks are down, the banks are down, the internet is down. And this is when there was that like big IT crash, but we had no idea about it. And like I go to pay with my card that always works and it doesn't work. And she's like, oh, try again. The banks are down. I knew it. We got a whole lot of big problems coming.
And she's like, solar flare. It's the solar flare because the card got rejected.
Yeah, she's like, there's a solar flare here. And then the lady behind us said something like, I forget what she said.
Oh, it was doomsday with those two. But the card was rejected just because their machine. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, we have money. But yeah, it was funny to hear that lady just like so in the know. I guess that's like, they probably talk to the most people, those cashiers, or the people checking you out. So she was a funny interaction because she actually taught us what was going on. We had no idea.
Yeah, we thought she was being a crazy person, and then we Googled it and saw it online that there's a lot of IT problems. But anyways, we had a lot of weird grocery store encounters.
Well, it's just like we go there, and the first day we see this lady in front of us, and she was buying maybe 30 pounds of flour.
Yep.
It was the most flour I've ever seen in my life. And I don't know if she was a baker or what was going on. Mm-hmm. But I just took note of it, and I was like, oh, that's a little odd, and pointed it out to Maxi, and she's like, oh, that's weird. But then, obviously, we go back the next day at a different time. Like, that day was at 5 o'clock. Uh-huh. Then the next day we go back about 1. And there's, like, a huge line to go into the, like, check out, another poppin' day for some reason. And they open up a new lane, and then the person in front of us, I'm like, oh, you could go. And it's the same lady. She wasn't buying all the flour today, but it was just so funny how 2 days in a row.
Well, that was yesterday, the second day that we saw her. And then today,
we saw her in the coffee shop we went to.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just this is that small of a town where that you like go to the same spots and you start seeing the same people. But I didn't recognize anyone else. I just recognized her.
Yeah, no, we've been seeing her a lot, and the grocery store has been busy 24/7, so it's not like there's literally no one in the town. Like, the town's pretty busy.
Yeah, so maybe it's a sign that we should become her friend.
Maybe if we see her one more time, it's meant to be.
Definitely meant to be. Yeah, and then another grocery store encounter was, what happened?
Another cashier. Yeah. I think Kory was really rubbed the wrong way by this. Yeah. But he didn't ask us anything about ourselves. He was just like, hey, how are you? And we did the transaction, whatever. And then we were like, all right, bye, thanks. And he was like, yeah, enjoy your stay in Australia.
I live here, guy. I've been living here for 6 months. What do you mean enjoy my stay? You think I'm only here for a couple weeks?
I mean, a year is a stay, I guess. And I think he was being nice, but it was very presumptuous because he didn't say, like, oh, where are you from? Because a lot of people detect our accent is not Australian, and they get very interested.
Well, I should be treated with respect like this next person. There was, like, a sales lady at the grocery store. All of our encounters are at the grocery store because that's
really
the
weird.
Only public place that we've been going.
Our title will have to be grocery store related.
Yeah. But this next lady, she was like one of those sales lady trying to get you to donate to something or trying to sign you up for a phone plan. I think that's like a type of person who you're like walking through the mall and they have got a clipboard and you just say no.
Table.
Yeah, you say no thank you and just keep walking.
Yeah, I was going to the bathroom. That's why we were walking by her.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but I just kept walking. I was like, yeah, hi, and just kept walking, and Kory ended up talking to her.
Yeah, so she was like, hey, how are you today? And I was just like, oh, good. How are you? And just like kept walking, like, because it's going to be like a solicit.
Yeah, you're going to have to pay money.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, I don't really want to deal with this. And then she was like, she said something like, oh, how are you doing today? Are you from Australia? Or she said, are you traveling? Or she said something like, are you living here? And I'm like, oh, no, yeah, I'm living here for a little bit. And she's like, oh, where are you Australian? So she basically, the premise of the entire conversation that got me to stop was her saying, oh, are you Australian? See, that's the respect I deserve because the other guy was assuming I was a tourist, but I am an Australian for the year.
Australians for the year.
But
Yeah, so I accidentally ditched Kory. I thought he was gonna keep walking. Like, you know the drill. If someone's trying with a clipboard is trying to get you to buy something, just keep walking. But I was just like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm going, and I assumed he was following me. He was not. He got caught up. But
it turns out that she also did the same. She was from England, and she traveled the country the same way I did, or same way we did, just driving around doing house sits and stuff. So,
oh, really? Cool.
yeah. So it's funny that like I thought someone was soliciting, but someone was just trying to give me a compliment that I was Australian.
No, I think she's just interested.
Yeah.
That because she's not an Australian.
Oh, but that's all our grocery store encounters. I promise there's no... Well, I could probably think of a couple more, but no, there's no more grocery store encounters.
And then one other day we went to this town that was recommended to us called Herberton, and...
Oh, wait, I have one more grocery store encounter.
Okay.
So my hair is getting really long, and I wanted like one of those cool athletic hair bands to keep the hair out of my eyes. And I didn't want to buy them because I'm embarrassed, and I think it would look kind of girly, so I had Maxi buy it for me.
Yeah. I mean, we have shared money, but I just like went up to the...
No, I gave you it, so you put it down on the counter.
Yeah, I like acted like it was my product.
And then I tried the hairband on, and it was not for me. I'm just gonna stick to hats.
I was telling Kory for weeks since he's brought this up that he would not enjoy the look that this skinny hairband would give him.
My hair just needs to grow longer, and then it'll start
He
going.
just needed to waste 10 of our dollars to figure it out. He couldn't take my advice.
You can have them now.
I don't wear those.
But yeah, back to Herberton.
Do you want to explain it?
Yeah, so it's basically a collection. Like Herberton was an old gold mining town, or just like an old town that has a bunch of history in it, and the town came together and they were like, well, we should just build up the old town kind of like how it was. So they took a collection of old buildings from around the area and then brought them all together in this, and they put them and made like a makeshift community that had
Village.
like, yeah, a little village.
It had like Main Street buildings.
Like a blacksmith, like an old, like all just old style
Literally
photography building.
Every building you could think of that was in an olden town was
Toy
there.
stores,
Yeah, like a bank, a post office. I was gonna say a hairdresser, but do they have that?
I think they had it, like an old school hairdresser.
Yeah, a dress shop, a newspaper
shop,
printing
yeah.
agency, a newspaper selling agency, toy shop, yeah.
Just like all from
A
like the
pharmacy.
early 1900s. Yeah, a chemist that actually had like crazy things in it, and like an old car mechanic, like a saddle fitter.
And these are all real.
Yeah.
These are real buildings that they preserved.
Yeah, it was really, really cool to see and explore. It took us like 3 hours to explore around. We almost got trapped in there.
Yeah, but right before we went, we did like this walking trail around the town. It was so short.
So they have the old town, which is the historic buildings, and then just the regular town, which is the regular town.
Yeah, and they were promoting their walking trail, so Kory and I quickly did that. It was only 0.4 miles, and it wasn't even on a sidewalk. Well, some of it was.
Just on the streets.
Yeah, it was on the street. I kept saying to Kory, when are we going to get to the trail? And he's like, we're on it. But then that led us to this random museum we popped into called Spy Camera Museum.
Yeah, it was just like a historical museum that had all old school cameras in it, and we just walked in the door, and immediately the guy comes out from the back, and he's like, $10 if you want to walk around and see the cameras. And he's like, then he tried to sell us because we were like, oh, I don't know. And we were like politely declining. And then he's like, here, I want to show you this something here. This is ancient CIA spy camera built into the watch. Still works. There's plenty more. This is super rare. He was just a man that was hyped about his cameras. Maxie liked them more than I did.
Yeah, we were having a long convo with him because he was talking
20 minutes,
about
yeah.
like skiing in Vermont or something.
I forget what
I
he
don't
was
know.
talking about.
But he was bonding with us about the USA and Australia and whatever. And
he would not call himself a caravaner.
Yeah, he said that he spends half the year in Tasmania, and I said, "Oh, do you drive around in a caravan?" And he was like, "No, I have a mobile home."
Yeah, so I think there's slander against caravanners here. I definitely am slandering. I'm anti-caravaner.
Me too. But yeah, I like the guy. I thought Kory would like him, and Kory was like, "I couldn't wait to get out of there."
It was just one of those situations where, like, this museum should be free. It's no way. Even I wouldn't even pay. I'd maybe pay like a $5 donation to go in there.
Kory, that's how much 10 Australian dollars is.
I don't know. It's just the premise. That museum should be free. You could just walk into it because it's just
No.
cameras. I'm not that passionate about cameras.
I don't know. It's fine. I just don't like the awkward, "Oh, we don't actually want to do this, so we have to leave. Sorry."
Yeah, and I wanted to just walk out immediately after we said no, but the guy was just talking our ear off.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so we've been living in the country.
Yeah, and they describe this town as like a western, like you'd see horses parked outside. But I don't think they've ever been to the West. It's like this is like just like a normal small town. I mean, I wouldn't describe it
It
as
is
like
not Western at all.
yeah, some small towns out in like the middle of Oklahoma or Texas definitely do not compare to here.
Yeah, I think what they mean by that, they're making the jokes about the horses parked outside. They're like, "Oh, you'll expect to see those with how the town looks." But I think it's just like a little dingy. Like, there's no real culture to the town.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's why they're like, "Oh, this town is odd."
Yeah.
No, but that's the main town. That's like
That's
15
Atherton,
minutes away.
Yeah, so there's Atherton, that's the biggest, and then there's like probably a dozen small towns that sprung up all around. And
Yeah, and we're in Tinaroo.
yeah, we're in a little town called Tinaroo, and we did. Oh, we could probably talk about the little lake drive we did. So Tinaroo is a big lake, and they dammed it off. And I noticed on the map that there was a drive around Tinaroo. So I was like, one day we were like, let's try and do that. And we started on it, and boy, I wanted to see the dam. The dam blew away my expectations. It was so cool.
Oh yeah, the actual dam.
The actual dam.
I just think of the whole lake as a dam. I don't know why. But yeah, the actual dam was probably one of the coolest dams I've seen.
Yeah, it had like I think the homeowners were telling us how they've had extraordinarily high water levels. Like at this time of the year, usually the lake is like not above 100% capacity, and they were like, yeah, it's still at like 110 capacity. So there was still water cascading over like the spillway, the dam, which it just looked like. I don't know, what was one of those
It looked like an art
display
museum display of water cascading really gracefully down a wall.
It was so cool. Yeah, I really loved just looking at it.
Or something fancy you'd seen, like a expensive building's gardens outside.
Yeah, it was mesmerizing.
Yeah, it was really pretty.
But the rest of the drive around the lake wasn't that entertaining.
It was very...
The biggest potholes.
Yeah. Not everywhere, but when you're deep around the lake, it was
Just
not
some,
good conditions.
Like crater hole potholes. And at a different time when we were driving around and the homeowners told us, they're like, there's a group of longhorn Texas bulls. You got to go see them.
Yeah, they're like, "You guys are American, go see the Texas Longhorns."
Oops.
And we accidentally stumbled upon them. And where were we going? I don't know. But they're so amazing.
Yeah, we got eggs from a local farmer, and then we drove down the street and went out and checked out the longhorn bulls. Their horns were 6 foot, 8 feet wide. It was insane.
They were adorable, and they were right up against the fence, and I wanted to pet them, but I quickly realized how dangerous that would be because they could move their face just a couple of inches, like just to like kind of glance at you. And their horn will swing.
Take you out.
Yeah. And if they're going to move their head even faster, then...
their horns just move so fast.
Yeah, just imagine having, what'd you say, 6 foot out to one side of their head?
Maybe like 4 feet.
Yeah, 4 to 5 feet out from one side of their head. That moves far if you just move your head a couple inches.
Yeah.
So it was a little dangerous.
Yeah, they were pretty adorable though.
Yeah, really cute.
Their horns were just, I don't know, I've never seen, and they were like, they were funny. Cows are funny. They just like itch their faces on like posts and stuff. Um, that was Eric over there. The dogs are acting a fool.
Yeah, if you hear anything, it's the dogs. Um,
But
oh, they're
these
so.
dogs are adorable. I like them. I don't know if I'd ever get a beagle though.
No, they bark a lot.
And
Not Eric. He's too old, but.
but he's just like he gets locked onto a scent, and then he's just like the only thing he could think of is that scent, and he's going crazy running around just thinking of the scent. But the other one, Gus, I like a lot. He's got a really sweet demeanor and likes just to chill, and he listens to you. The only part about Gus that I don't like is he wakes up. He's the one waking everybody up in the morning to go for a walk.
Exactly. But yeah, in this country town, we drive by, like Kory said, we got local eggs. There's people selling eggs on the street from their backyard chickens and ducks, and there's just pop-up fruits and vegetable stands everywhere. We got a bag of 4 fresh avocados from an avocado farm for $2, 2 Australian dollars.
So it's like $150 US.
Yeah, so like 4 fresh avocados for $150 US.
Crazy. Well, it's because they grow avos out here. And there's just avocado trees everywhere. There's sugar everywhere. Yeah, it's a really cool area. And and also speaking
Sorry, I changed the
backtracking
subject.
to biking, going way back.
Uh,
Maxie got out on the bike in a while.
Yeah, my first mountain bike in maybe years.
I don't think years.
At least a year.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Yeah, it was fun. I forgot that green trails exist, and I noticed that a lot of when I'd wait for Kory on his mountain biking rides, I noticed a lot of like older women were going mountain biking, and I was very impressed. So when Kory asked me if I wanted to go, all that was needed was to steal/borrow a bike from the homeowner. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go. And it was super fun. The bike didn't like.
The bike was just an ancient, rigid hardtail that had narrow handlebars and small tires. It really wasn't a good bike, but Maxie crushed it.
Yeah. It was a little sketchy at some times because the bike was just not for me.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I had fun.
Yeah, I'm telling you, these trails are amazing out there, and yeah, that was a blast.
Yeah, we did 6 miles in the woods.
Wonderful.
Thanks for the tour.
Yes, it was good fun, and yeah, the dogs also. The dogs. Let's talk about the dogs a little bit.
Yes. Okay. Back
So
to the dogs.
when we got here, the homeowners were like, "Oh, like." They're kind of babying the dogs. Like they love them a lot, and which is wonderful. They were like, "Oh, on Sundays we take Gus to the lake, and he must go to the lake on Sundays because he knows it's Sunday."
Yeah, they're like, he's so smart. Like he knows it's Sunday, so definitely take him. It's his day.
And they're like, he will not accept no for an answer on Sundays. Like he's going to the lake to go swimming.
Yeah, and Kory and I were like, okay, let's see how true this is, because these people don't have kids. Usually when people don't have kids, they become obsessed with their dogs, and they think their dogs are so smart, and they just kind of go over the top with their animals. So, Sunday comes around,
and we wake up in the morning, we sleep downstairs, and the dogs sleep upstairs. We are like, all right, let's not say anything. Let's just walk them like normal and see what happens. We're not going to say anything about the lake or the Sunday or anything like that, and see what happens.
Yeah. And
we get to the turn. So there's a turn off. Either you could go straight and go to the lake, or go left and go to the lookout. Well, you go left every day to like go to the lookout, which is a nice drive or nice walk. And we start walking, and Gus, at that turn, he just pulls harder than ever to go straight. Normally he doesn't, but he knew it was Sunday. It was actually incredible.
yeah, the one thing that I'm wondering is we did walk on the other side of the road, like the same path, and I pretended to go left, But we were walking on the other side of the road. I don't think it had much of an effect, but
No, he wasn't taking no for an answer.
yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know.
he did know.
Yeah, I think he knew too.
This dog is so smart.
You're so smart, Gus.
I don't know how he does that. He's
No.
a calendar.
Yeah, he's got a calendar in his head.
But on one of these walks up to the lookout, so they warned us about wild dogs, and they told us that they think that Gus is part wild dog because someone in town found him as a puppy with his siblings.
By a river, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, we don't think someone abandoned these puppies. We think that they were wild dog puppies.
Yeah.
And that if you do see a wild dog, they often look a lot like him. But he looks like an Australian cattle dog.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
He doesn't have that, like, what do they call it? The dingo look at all.
Yeah.
He's not brown or anything.
Yeah, so a wild dog is different than a dingo, they said. But I don't know why a wild dog would look just like an Australian cattle dog. That is like the most common
It's probably just
dog here.
Like the cattle dogs mixed breed with the dingoes, and then eventually like they start looking more like cattle dogs than dingoes.
Maybe.
Because I think dingoes are pure wild. I think just the wild dogs are like a mix between. They're just dogs that are living in the wild. But
so the family, when they showed us on their walks, they were like, be careful in this particular spot on the walk because sometimes wild dogs that travel through the Tablelands will walk through, and like we've seen them right here before. So on this walk, Kory and I go up to the lookout, and we're on our way back. It's an out and back, and we see a dog in this exact spot. Kind of looks like Gus, and they said that the wild dogs would look like Gus, white and black and whatever. So Kory and I put Gus on the leash because that was his off-leash time, and we were kind of panicking. We're like,
I start saying like, go away, dog, because like I mean that's how you just yell at dogs and they'll go away because I think they're more scared of you.
Yeah, that's what the family told us to do.
Yeah, and so we're like, go away, and the dog just doesn't move. It's just like standing there staring at us.
And then she started to come up to us.
Yeah, then she came up to us.
And we're like, oh, God.
We're like, oh, boy, get away, Gus, or whatever. And then it turns out we saw the dog. Well, the first thing I looked at the dog, and I was like, oh, this dog looks very clean.
Clean, yeah.
And I was like, no, that's the cleanest wild dog I've ever seen.
And then we noticed she had a purple collar on.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, you're someone's dog.
Yeah, and then we hear someone shouting, like, I forget the dog's name, I think it was like Sally. You're like, Sally! Just from the woods. And I didn't even know there's houses down there. And out emerges this man being like, oh, there's my dog, I found her. And I was like, how's your morning going? He's like, pretty bad as you can see. The dog got out. So he's like, I don't even have a lead for her.
Yeah.
But that was pretty funny. And
it was very full circle because...
Well, you know what? It stresses me out because the homeowners are like, oh yeah, just leave all the doors open so the dogs can come in and go in as they choose. But until we go to sleep, they say that. So like keep the doors open and they wander out. And
yeah, they're like, if they go missing, go check the neighbors' yards and stuff like that.
Yeah, and already at one time earlier this week, just hear an absolute racket from the beagle Eric. It's so funny, his name's Eric.
I
know. And I hear a racket, like some like howling, and it's kind of coming from like the neighbor's yard. So I'm like, oh my god, I hope he's not getting in trouble over there. So I run down, and he's like chasing an animal in the neighbor's yard. And the neighbor's over there like, oh, don't worry, he's probably just chasing a possum or something like that. Oh, maybe a snake, who knows? So he's already gone off once already, and it's just like, I don't know if I would do this with my animals, even if I lived on like a street like they do. It's pretty in the country, and
I wouldn't. Enough cars come down these roads. No thanks.
Yeah.
They act like they live in the middle of nowhere, but it's like a bunch of houses on this street.
Yeah, there's at least 20, a dozen. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, so one night we just had the dogs like out, the doors were open, whatever, we had the front door shut, and all of a sudden, like we don't know that the dog were missing or Eric was missing. We hear
It was so much harder and louder.
Oh, someone was like banging on the front door.
Yeah, like the most intense banging to knock.
Yeah. And Maxi's like, what are you feeling?
Well, in the first few seconds, my brain was literally like, oh, we're kind of in the country. People know that the homeowners are away. People know that these house sitters are here. Someone's here to kill us. I don't know. I don't normally jump to conclusions like that, but for like a good 3 seconds, my whole body was just overcome with fear because the way he knocked was so scary.
Oh yeah, and like all you could see, just a silhouette of a large man standing outside the door because it's
Yeah.
like, what do they call it? Like tinted. It's not like a
Yeah,
pane
it's like
glass.
translucent.
So you could see objects, but you can't see through it.
Yeah,
And
front door.
we're like, oh my god, who
Yeah.
is here?
And a few seconds later, I was like, oh, it's probably dog related.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking in my head, but wasn't too sure. It's always kind of weird when someone comes to a house in the middle of the night. But anyways, I open the door and it's the same exact guy who lost his dog. I think, was it earlier that day or was it?
It might have been.
Yeah, it was either early that day or a day before because he recognized us and he was like, "Oh yeah, Eric was up the street. I just corralled him down here. He was chasing some ruse or something."
Yeah.
But it was funny that he lost his dog and we found it, and then our dog ran up the street and then he brought it back. So a
Yeah.
little bit of a full circle moment there.
So funny.
But that's why I don't like having the doors open with these dogs.
I don't like having the doors open because I get cold. The house is very cold, but the outside is very hot. So Kory and I just sit in the sun all day if we're home here. And the house just stays cold, and they just leave the doors open for... The only thing that comes in is not the sun, it's the breeze. So
Yeah,
I just don't like the doors open.
Yeah, I don't really like that either. But we've been
You did some car stuff. You
Oh,
cleaned our
yeah.
air filter.
Yeah, so I've been trying to learn a little bit more about the car and maintenance and stuff. So another thing that I need to do is just either clean the filter or buy a new filter. So I was like, oh, I'll just clean the filter. Pretty easy. Got it done. And it was pretty nice that I watched one YouTube video on it, and the guy was like advertising for some sort of product, like an air filter cleaning product. There was a spray and a cleaner, and I look in the guy in the garage door, and boom, it's the same exact product that the guy was advertising for in the homeowner's garage as in the video. Yeah, so got that done. That was easy.
Thank you, Kory. Yeah, and so the day that we were worried about having the most FOMO for back home while we're here in Australia came and went. July 20th. Both of our biggest
Summer events.
FOMO events of the year were on the same day. Kory's beloved cornhole tournament for Indian Neck Day.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, they almost canceled it last year over some adult drama in the neighborhood. And Kory started a petition to make sure it still happened. And it still happened.
Yeah, my brother Alex and we won back-to-back years. So we couldn't get the three-peat this year, but that'll make next year's win even sweeter.
Yeah, and then also...
And this is like a big tournament. This year there was 65 teams or something like that play.
Yeah, this is huge. This is Kory's Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's like just a classic neighborhood tradition. There's a big party. They shut down the road, and it's just basically a big neighborhood block party.
Yeah, and I felt bad that he had to miss it. But, if that's the one big thing that you miss in the year, it's fine. And same with my big thing, and that was my cousin's sister-in-law's wedding. I call her my cousin because she's basically my cousin, Allie. And yeah, she got married, and it was really, really beautiful, and the pictures and videos were amazing.
Yeah, it looked like a fun wedding that we had to miss, but next year we're already have triple the stuff, so we're really happy that
this
we
year
did this when we could.
This year had very little obligations back home for us, so it's really incredible that we got this opportunity to come here and do a year of Australia.
Exactly.
Because if those are the two big things that we miss out on, I think we'll survive.
Yeah. And in another incredible what were you going to say?
I forgot. Just how every year beyond this is going to be hectic with plans back home.
Yeah. And then another incredible opportunity that we have here is the homeowners have the Lord of the Rings special edition, all 3 movies. It's like 8 hours a movie. So that's an incredible opportunity for us to watch the movies. And we are.
By we, I don't know why you're saying we, because I am not watching anything.
No. This is together.
Okay, it kind of makes me mad. I don't know why Lord of the Rings makes me mad. I don't want to be a part of it. I'm not, like, I don't know, I just think it's so dorky. It's not for me. It's not for me. Stop pushing it on me.
Probably you were annoyed because I was reading the books and talking about the books.
I don't care, but, like, I'm just not into fantasy and fake realities. I don't read fiction books. I only read nonfiction and self-help books. So, yeah, I'm not into, like, these fake worlds. You know? I'm sorry. I love you. And Kory is watching these extended editions.
We are watching them.
I don't know why you're saying that. I haven't looked at the TV once. Why are you saying that?
Because you watched when Gandalf came back.
No, you said look at the TV,
yes.
And I probably looked for 2 seconds.
Yes, that counts.
All right, guys. I don't know why. If you want me to be a part of it, just express it to me, and maybe I'll be generous with 12 hours of my time and watch 12 hours of the 3 movies extended edition.
I will gladly watch it alone. I love Lord of the Rings. I love the books.
Kory's barely watching it, guys. He just has it on in the background with surround sound.
And subtitles. I found out how to do the subtitles on the DVD. Because these are DVDs.
And I'm like, why are you playing the movie if you're not even watching it? And he's like, I don't like the first movie. But anyways.
Oh, and some other stuff we've been doing. So I've challenged myself to do the same diet as Maxi, which is gluten-free, dairy-free. And it's been going great. I don't really feel different at all. I think the first week I was like, holy cow, I'm hungry and I'm just eating double. But I don't know, it's good.
Oh yeah, fun fact, guys, if you love eating like I do and most Italian people, cut out the gluten and you'll be able to eat so much food. Now, I mean, you can't eat the glutinous food, but your body will be able to eat so much more because bread really fills you up.
Yeah, that's where all my gluten intake comes from, is just like sandwiches, hamburgers, all that kind of bread. Like, I would have toast in the morning, but now it's just on gluten-free bread, which
You'd be amazed at how much it fills you up, and when you cut out the bread and the breaded things and whatever, you can eat so much more protein and vegetables and all these things. Your body just wants to eat a larger portion. And I like eating, so I don't mind that part of the diet. And the bread is what keeps the weight on your body, so it's not like you're eating more and getting heavier. It's actually the opposite.
Yeah, and also it said the homeowners had sourdough starter.
It's 25 years old.
25 years old, which is pretty incredible. And they're
kept it alive, and they have some of it.
Yeah, now we have some of it as well, because I don't know if I'll be gluten-free forever, but I just took a little bit and started my own starter. And I made mostly gluten-free sourdough today. So it was basically just the starter, some water, and then the rest is gluten-free. Flour.
Yeah, his bread was amazing. In his first try.
Sourdough's easy. Well, I think the starter's the hard thing to make, but we have a starter and we just made it ourselves.
That's why it has some gluten in it, because we're pretty sure that has gluten in it.
Well, it's just flour and water.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So.
Yeah, that's that.
A mostly gluten-free sourdough. I ate it. It had the best crunch of my life with bread. And I like a nice doughy, soft inside too. And that was perfectly soft and doughy on the inside, and the best crunch ever on the outside. Sorry.
Yeah, it was pretty good first attempt. Yeah, baking's fun. It's nice to have an oven.
Yeah, we've been making a lot of fun things. Like, I made homemade mayo because I don't like how all the mayos we buy have vegetable oils, seed oils as the main ingredient. So I really wanted to get an olive oil-based mayo. And I just decided I can't find one, I'll just make it. So I made that with their blender, their immersion blender here. It's been nice to have a full-fledged kitchen.
Exactly, and we've been doing a lot of just chatting with people and catching up. It's nice to have Wi-Fi, nice to be back, nice to...
Yeah, nice to be in a region with service for me.
Yeah.
So lots of FaceTimes and calls with people back home.
Yeah, so if you guys feel like you want to talk to us, give us a ring.
Yeah, we might be able to pick it up.
Yeah, usually probably the afternoons back home.
Yeah, your afternoons or early mornings.
Yeah.
And something else we were able to do here is plan ahead.
Oh, we never plan ahead, but
We fly by the seat of our pants, you guys.
most nights we don't know where we're sleeping until about like 3 o'clock. So we've been organized. Maxie and I, we've been planning our trip up to the tip. So Cape York is the most northern point of Australia. It is all the way in the northeast, and it's about 1,000-kilometer trip up there. So we're gonna go do some sightseeing, go check out the tip, and then head back down south.
Yeah, most people only go as north as Cairns, and we're just going to send it straight up the top where it's going to be remote. Again, we might lose service for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
or I will. But then we'll be back in civilization for literally the rest of the year.
Yeah, so that's that, guys. I don't really think there's much to else. We did a bunch of shopping today, bookstores, and I got a nice map of the area so I can study that.
I got a book on the emotions stored in your body and your ailments and issues. This is basically an encyclopedia of why you have what physical issues you have. So I would like to help you guys if anyone has something from like why do I bite my nails to why does my liver hurt to why do I have acne, please reach out and I will tell you what this book says. It's just so fascinating to me.
It is pretty cool, yeah.
Everyone needs to deal with their stored emotions and release them and to live a healthier life. So
Exactly.
please reach out if you want to know about your particular ailment or issue.
And I think that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We love all of our listeners.
Love you guys.
And we hope you have a good day.
Have a good day.